Hello, I'm Shirley Cupit. I am teaching the MBBS curriculum, and I want to talk today about experiential learning in the curriculum. What I'm aiming for in my teaching is to help our future doctors become able to develop an understanding with people from all walks of life, and therefore be able to provide care and support that is what they need and also what they want. What that means is a number of things. They need to be able to appreciate and celebrate and embrace diversity. They need to be able to recognise and sometimes rethink their own values and prejudices and preconceptions. And they also need to be able to understand, very importantly, the social context of people's lives and the ways in which social inequalities lead to health inequalities. So how do I help them do that? Well, mostly by putting them in the same room as people, so that they can actually meet people and really learn from listening to their stories. And that happens by them going out into the community to a whole range of different kind of placements, or by bringing members of the community into the medical school to talk with the medical students. And it's very important that there's reciprocity, that for the students there's a sense of learning and engaging, and for the people they're talking to, they have a sense of giving something to the students, of teaching future doctors. And they also meet people working in services, so they hear professional stories, and not just from NHS staff, but from people working in a whole range of fantastic placements out in the community. And in many of those services that they visit, the staff work with some of the most vulnerable or socially excluded people in our society. And those are the people who often have the worst health and often have very difficult or substandard experiences in the NHS. And you can see from these slides that in the core curriculum, that's a range of placements. It might be older people's centres, it might be carers support, as well as GPs and community pharmacists. In the student-selected components that I teach, I'm able to send them to even more specialised placements. So it might be drug and alcohol projects or homeless projects, mental health services, youth projects, all kinds of fantastic services that offer the students an incredible opportunity to learn. So the students learn from the people they meet, and they particularly learn not to make simplistic judgments. On the other side of it, the people that they meet actually have a voice, which sometimes is very rare for them, and they get to influence future doctors. Similarly, all the Year 2 students attend disability workshops that are provided by experts in that kind of training who are themselves living with disability. So people having a voice is really at the heart of my teaching. It's challenging, of course, to provide placements for hundreds of students at a time, but it's a kind of learning you can't do in a lecture theatre. And the outcomes speak for themselves, really. Student feedback is very positive. They tell us it improves their communication skills, their confidence. They tell us it helps them make sense of what they're learning in their wider curriculum. And they also tell us it's eye-opening for them. And sometimes you can see that. You can see it's a really transformational experience. And I see students develop empathy. I see them develop their reflective skills. And I see them really start to reflect on their own attitudes and opinions and sometimes change them. And here's an example from an article in the Times that picked up on that collaboration we had with one of our community placements, an older people's volunteering project. And what you can see here is a lovely photo of the coordinator of that project and one of our students. And the students acknowledged, when the reporter was talking to them, how much their view of older people had changed as a result of the placement, which you can see in the quote here from one of the other students. And clearly it had really rather transformed his thinking about older people. And I'm endlessly impressed actually with how well the students use these opportunities and how open and honest they are in response to this kind of learning. Thank you very much for your time.